And it's Richard Tennessee Homestead. How the heck are you today? This one is going to be attached with the GMO stuff, even though I really hadn't planned this one. But I looked over the first two that I've got up. I published the first one, the other one I'm still reviewing. Just trying to make sure I got my ducks in a row there. And you start looking at this and you go, man, this stuff is like pure porn. It can scare the heck out of somebody. And that's not what I'm trying to do here, folks. What I'm trying to do is wake you up and make you understand we're in a pretty precarious situation here that may still be fixable if we get busy and start trying to fix it. Okay, so I was over here doing getting my garage cleaned up, getting ready to bring the tractor in so that I could get started on that. And I was taking a break. It's hot today, and I thought I would cover this with you because I don't want anybody, running off in fear the sky's falling, the sky is falling. No, what I'm trying to do is stimulate you to go get your own answers, understand the problems, and be able to make rational decisions for you and your family. That's it. That's simple. Okay? Fear will get you nowhere. If you see that there's an issue and there's a potential problem on the horizon, that's where you stand up and go, we need to get prepared for it, and we need to see about going about and fixing it. How do we stop this mess? So let's start off with what this video is all about. Is your government, I guess the question that I have for you is, do you think your government and these companies are lying to you? Second thing, how cold-natured are these people? Okay. Just how is money the only thing that matters to them? Would they truly hurt my family, my kids, for $1? Really? Is that true? I'm going to have you look at it. The Bible tells us you can judge a person by their fruits. Okay? You look at what they do. What's the fruits of this? What have you done in the past? It's God has a much better way of saying it to me. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and walks like a duck, it's probably a duck. And it's going to take a lot of convincing for me to think that you're anything but a duck. Okay? Now, so when we're looking at that, let's look. I'll almost bet if I told you that there was a company back years ago that had developed a drug, and it was an expensive drug to make. It was made out of blood, but it was back during and before the AIDS epidemic broke loose. And they found out that they had spent all this money making this drug that they had out on the market, and it was tainted. Okay? And it was a drug primarily for children, and it was tainted with HIV. Now, you would think, no matter how greedy a corporation would be, that stuff would get pulled off the market, and that'd be the end of that. Take the loss. Let me tell you what really happened. And some of you may have seen it back on the news and things of this nature. They didn't admit that there was a problem, even though internal memos said otherwise. At first, oh no, this drug's safe. Keep using it on your kids, please. That was their first recourse. Then they found out, son of a gun, if some group of lawyers didn't end up with some of their internal memorandums that said, yeah, you knew. And we're going to take you to task. So they're thinking, son of a gun, we got to write all these checks to all these families that their lawyers got this information, and we got to get it off the market. Government's going to hammer us. So they came to our government and said, we're taking that off the market. We didn't violate any laws. We didn't break any rules, but we're taking it off the market. And you would think, okay, well, at least they did something once they got backed into a corner. Now, for these companies to sell drugs and so forth to other countries, they have to have the permission of our government. The permission of our government. This company went back and got permission to open up new markets in Europe and so forth to unload this tainted drug, knowing full well that you were talking about a drug contaminated with HIV that was primarily used on children. And they didn't just sell it to our quote unquote enemies. You would think, okay, their government went along with that one just to knock off a few bad guys. Now, it was countries like Spain and France. And their government officials had to be complacent with it. And they did a little name changing and switching around the labels and, trying to make it clean up its act because too afraid maybe somebody heard about it and it spread in Europe. Sold it in Europe and other countries, knowing full well it was tainted with HIV. And your government helped them do it. Isn't that a wonderful bunch of guys? Makes you proud. Makes you want to go get your red, white, and blue t-shirt, doesn't it? Makes you proud. That's your government. They could care less about those children in those other countries because their corporate masters said, fetch, sit, stay. And they sat and they stayed. They got busted. They got caught because people found out that they took this tainted stuff and started selling it over there, kind of took the memorandums over there and said, they're killing your kids. In France, a bunch of the politicians that were responsible for allowing that into the country are probably still sitting in prison because they were convicted. In this country, we probably gave ours a bonus. And not a single executive or employee of this company ever went to jail over it. Because after all, they were in the States. Now, you would think that this company would have been driven out of business by the outrage of the American people. You'd think. But I'll bet you still buy their products. This company name is Bear Pharmaceuticals. Bear. Helping you live better. Unless we can make a buck killing you. Okay? Bear Pharmaceuticals. And now their agricultural departments developed herbicides, and insecticides, and GMO products, and they're telling you, not to worry about it. It's totally safe. You believe them? With their history, you believe them? I wouldn't bet my life on it because I know full well that they would sell me a product that would kill me as long as they could make a buck and never bat an eye. And I also know, and I'm not foolish enough to think for 30 seconds, that this government that we call our government, which I never really use that statement, I call it the federal government because it's been a long time since it was the people's government, will let them kill me so they can make their buck and these guys can get their 25 cents, you bet. Wouldn't hesitate. Would not hesitate. Oh, our government can't be that ruthless, really. In the, I believe it was mid to late 70s, the government was trying to clear out some of its classified files, and they started releasing a bunch of stuff from back in the 40s and the 50s that they deemed doesn't matter. One of the things that got out that they went, whoops, probably shouldn't release that, and reclassified it, try to get it out of the media, was where they had started doing a lot of work with bioweapons. And they wanted to see what some of the long-term effects are. They were working on these bioweapons that they kind of, blew up before the shooting war starts, like 20, 30 years before the shooting war starts, so that you don't have any people around by the time the shooting war starts. Yeah, that kind of weapons. They needed to do long-term human research. Long-term human research. So they spread this stuff around schoolyards and elementary schools, infecting children with it. It's federal government. That was back in the 50s, folks. This government probably has not been of, by, and for the people at least 100 years. They serve corporate masters. Be advised. Will they kill your children as an experiment? And not bat an eye, folks. They care less. Politicians out there, they're just, they're the salesmen. That's all they are for the federal government. They're salesmen. Get out there and put on a happy face and lie out your taste to them. Make them think we care. Look at their record, look at their history, and you'll know they care not. Okay? FDA has given us all these fine things. Agent Orange, dioxin, PCP, aspartame, GMOs, glyphosate. The list goes on and on and on. Poisons. That's part of your federal government. Now, President Obama, he was going to bring it to a close. Because after all this, when a lot of this stuff was put through, there was the FDA had a head of the political head of the FDA was an ex-Monsanto employee, executive. And after he left the government's work, he went back to Monsanto. A little more pay, I guess he'd done a good job for him. And kind of left the government scene, I guess. Damage done, I'm out of here. Now guess what? When President Obama decided, I'm bringing somebody in, that's what he stood there in front of the cameras and told the American public, I'm bringing you, putting somebody in charge of the FDA right at the top who is going to make sure this stuff is safe and protect you. So he brought him back from Monsanto, and that is your current acting food safety czar. You think he's looking out for your interests? Or is he looking out for Monsanto's? Wake up, America. You need to understand that the government that you are living with today could care less if you ever die. And so don't believe it when they tell you, oh, it's safe. Because they'll tell you it's safe if they handed you a vial of strychnine. Go ahead, mix it with Kool-Aid, it's great. Okay, keep that in mind. Monsanto, like I said, they started out a long time ago, with dioxin. You want to find out about dioxin? Google Times Beach, Missouri, where a whole town who didn't die of cancer was kicked out of their homes so that they could scrape up every bit of ground, dirt, houses, everything, and try to get rid of the dioxin that is. Now, Monsanto told us dioxin was, that stuff is nothing to see here, totally safe. Move along, children. Turned out that exposure to dioxin caused cancer, period. End of quotation. All the research finally came back. Yeah, they couldn't deny it. People were dropping dead from this stuff. Okay? Whole town gone. Whole town gone. Times Beach, Missouri. Look at it. You'll love it. I lived back in southern Illinois when all that was taking place. It was on the news every night. Sad. PCP. Another one of those from our great chemical leaders and our government. Oh, it's okay. It's safe. Perfect. Move along. Nothing to see here, children. Agent Orange. Totally safe. Now that one ticks me off. Because Agent Orange, I got to be quite honest with you, has killed more servicemen, most probably than the Vietnamese did. Pretty sad. And we don't even know the total numbers because most of them back then were fighting for their VA benefits, trying to say, I'm very sick and I don't know why, can you guys help me? And they would do, your government would do everything but admit you were poisoned by Agent Orange. And it's a very stringent, it's very strong, carcinogenic, and it's probably going to kill you. How many of those people went back? How many of them couldn't afford to go to the doctors when the VAs told them to go away? Yeah. 58,000 dead in Vietnam? Yeah, probably that many more after they came home, spread out over the years. But you never heard about them, did you? Agent Orange. Nothing to see here, folks. Move along. But you keep Agent Orange in mind. Because in one of these GMO videos dealing with super weeds, you'll never guess what they're looking to bring back and mix into your food system. Even after knowing all that they know. After I can't have weeds. Gotta do something. Okay, back to the list. Aspartame. Aspartame causes all numerous health issues. FDA's even had researchers quit because they can't get it past the political wall. It's dangerous. And then the companies went back, changed a couple of small ingredients and renamed it. And guess what? They don't even have to put it on the labels anymore. Your FDA went, okay. Let's just not tell anybody because aspartame has such a bad name. Your GMO products, your Roundups, your herbicides, your atrazines, which atrazine, this is one I got to tell you about. It may cause this to go a little long. In 2015, it appears that Monsanto tried a bid to grab up Syngenta. I think it was 2014. It failed because of getting Kim China involved. Syngenta was able to force off this semi-hostile takeover by Monsanto. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Atrazine has been around longer than Roundup. Probably better tested and a little bit safer product. Not that herbicides are safe, but a little safer than Roundup. But, it's been around longer than what Roundup has. So, you have this little takeover attempt in 2014, beginning of I think it was 2014. Where Monsanto tried to grab up Syngenta. They failed. Kim China stepped in, kind of blocked that whole thing off. Now, I am sure that the government would not be manipulated by a corporation to go do their bidding. Now, in 2015, they began a review of atrazine at the EPA, and right now, today, they're in the final things of taking in paperwork and so forth, but virtually the EPA is going to put in a de facto, which is going to work out to be a de facto ban on atrazine. Was this good science? No, because atrazine's no worse than Roundup, so if they had all this evidence on atrazine, could they not turn around and look at Roundup and go, well, that's worse. Maybe we need to ban that too. Has nothing to do with that, folks. It has to do with the failed takeover attempt of Monsanto taking over Syngenta. And the EPA immediately thereafter landed right on top of Syngenta trying to take away its atrazine. Little hen fight going on, kind of interesting. These companies are going to end up, I can assure you, before it's over, you're going to have one company out there. It's going to be a combination of all of them. They've already got the paperwork in to cut it down to where you're going to have 3 major corporations dealing in this. And as I said in the one video, you better wake up. Let me tell you what you can do. Get ready. Okay, this next video that's going to come up right before this one has already told you what's on the horizon. That's no joke, folks. Something evil this way comes, and nature's about to wake them up. I remember there was something like it was a food commercial of some sort. It was a ways back. The whole thing was somebody had this Mother Nature try butter. And usually the end of the commercial was that it would confuse them that Mother Nature couldn't tell the difference between the margarine and the butter. And the punchline of the commercial was she would usually light them up with a lightning bolt and go, "It's not nice to fool with Mother Nature." We're going to learn that lesson. It's coming. I'm not going to get, this is the tail end, so this is just me wrapping up to get out of here. When I first read the book of Revelation and read where they were talking about in the last days, this plagues that would come onto the earth. One of them was insects. They were like locusts. They had lion's head. They bite. There was nothing to kill them. Mutants. And listening to the description of these insects, like no insect like it's not real. So what I was trying to put into play, what sort of spiritual thing are we talking about here? But now I'm beginning to learn. We're probably not talking about a spiritual thing. We're probably, John probably saw what he saw. We don't know what kind of mutations are going on out there in Mother Nature right now because of our people tampering with things. Cornell University, University of Michigan, a whole list of them came out and said putting that Bt protein in a corn plant or in any plant can cause mutations in the plant. And that mutagenic property could carry over to the insects. Mutant insects? Yeah. We have mutant weeds. They're coming on strong. We have weeds out there right now that they have no known herbicide to kill in any quantities. Mother Nature's fighting back. Okay? And like the commercial, it's not nice to fool with Mother Nature. She'll shake us off like so many fleas. And then she'll heal herself. But I think pretty much God has stepped back and said, when you destroy it this time, children, you're going to answer to me. It's coming. It's on the horizon. And you need to get prepared for it, both spiritually and physically. Because one of the things, I want to say this to all my pre-tribulation rapture brothers and sisters out there who believe firmly in that. Gosh, I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. But I can't find anything really, really solid in Scripture to back that up. And I look at the fact that our Lord sees that for us to travail for Him adds to His glory. And He in turn adds to ours for our tribulations. Will He let us pass up that opportunity? Probably not. And I can't see where it's going to happen. And I know I'm going to get flooded with possible comments on it, but just be advised. A lot of this pre-tribulation rapture stuff started out as a footnote in the Scofield Bible. Man's belief. Read the Word. You will find very little on the rapture. Okay. So if we have to go through these things, we have to go through these things. Hopefully it's not the time. Hopefully this is just another one of man's major screw-ups. But what I'm asking now is don't live in fear. Don't let it cause you to stick your head in the sand. Stand up and tell these people, no, quit buying these things. Quit purchasing our products. Quit it. That's how you stop this. When the farmers can't sell their crops anymore and it gets too much for the government to bail them out, guess what? They're going to stop. They're going to go back to old-time farming methods because that's what you want. What you want, they will give. Okay? And if they don't, then know one thing's for sure. The end's near. Because in the total end, they don't care what you want. So, pray hard, folks, and stand up. You know, protect your children, protect your family, protect yourself. These people are lying to you. Your government's lying to you. Hold your ground. Tell them no more. Had enough. And God bless you. And like I said, don't be fearful. Stand up. Prepare. Be ready. If you know something's bad on the horizon for your food, make sure you have good food to eat. And plenty of it. This is Rich from Tennessee Homestead. Take care, folks. And the next two videos are going to get rough. Because that's going to deal with you and I's health issues. And that gets a little fearful when you start seeing the truth. But I read in a book once, the truth will set you free. You have a great day.